The row in the Labour Party continues over whether the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, should call for a ceasefire over the Israel-Hamas conflict. Some MPs are calling for him to change his stance, and they are apparently increasingly saying that he needs to do that, otherwise they'll quit. But some of them are, of course, Muslim. In fact, quite a lot of the people who are, certainly at local council level, quitting the Labour Party are indeed members of the British Muslim community. And interestingly, he has put out an Islamophobia awareness video earlier today. To much controversy. Let's just have a look and a listen, shall we?
This Islamophobia Awareness Month comes at a deeply troubling time for Muslim communities across Britain. We've seen a devastating rise in Islamophobia, leaving people feeling fearful and unsafe in their own country. I've heard firsthand of women wearing hijab who are too scared to travel by public transport, of Muslim families being abused as they leave the mosque. Hate crimes are deeply damaging, both for every affected victim, but for communities. And we all bear a responsibility to do all we can to stamp out hate.
I can speak now to the founder of the Academy of Ideas, Baroness Claire Fox, who earlier accused Sir Keir Starmer of identity politics of the worst kind. Claire, what's going on for you there?
I'm at the art conference just at the end, and they're all celebrating. But when I saw that video, Patrick, I just sent a shudder down my spine in a way, because we're living in very dangerous, divisive times at the moment. Keir Starmer has, to his credit, not backed off under quite a lot of pressure in relation to the ceasefire, in relation to Israel and the Gaza. But we've also seen a dramatic and very visceral such Israel-Jewish state hatred that it's basically moved into anti-Jewish hatred. Really worrying suggestions of anti-Semitism being normalised, people, storming Jewish shops, tearing down posters of kidnapped Jewish children, really abusive slogans and so on and so forth. So just at the time when we're actually seeing genuine racism on the streets of the UK in relation to anti-Semitism, up pops Keir Starmer to say the big issue is a massive rise in Islamophobia. Now, obviously, this just comes over as cynical. It just comes over as the worst kind of identity politics, trying to kind of somehow keep in with Muslim voters. By the way, the majority of Muslim voters are not anti-Semites who are going along with this, by the way, but there's just something about that kind of like, I'll talk one day to the Muslim voters and say they're the victims of hate. Then maybe the next day I'll go and talk to the Jewish people and say they're the victims of hate. Then no doubt it'll be the trans community tomorrow. Then no doubt it'll be somebody else. I mean, this is not appealing to people beyond their ethnicity or their religion. It's not grown-up politics. It's cynical, and it's really turned my stomach.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, again, the cynic in me would suggest that it's not that long after he was, well, not quite turfed out of a mosque in Wales, but not that far off it, was he? And, we've got Labour councillors quitting, apparently. We had some issue, which thankfully appears to have been rectified by the Electoral Commission in relation to some kind of party of Islam, which I think would have mopped up a lot of votes when it came to the disenfranchised elements of the Muslim Labour community as well, and then up pops Keir Starmer. Look, he will say that he is just trying to do his bit to raise awareness for Islamophobia. I mean, the other side of this for me was, does Islamophobia awareness need a month, Claire?
Well, first of all, you're absolutely right to suggest that this will be seen cynically by those people who are furious with him for sticking with his no ceasefire position, as it were, those activists from the Muslim community who disagree with him. But this idea that you can buy off the Muslim community by putting out this video, is insulting anyway. It's not going to keep anybody happy. But as you said, who knew there was a Islamophobia month, awareness month? There's a month for every kind of potential hatred now. And of course, it's just seen as almost like a PR marketing. But it was the words that he said, because he said, at a time when tensions are particularly high, when women are having their hijabs torn off, outside every mosque. But the truth is that anyone who's like in the UK, that is not the mood at the moment. If you are going to be concerned about a particular attack of hatred against a particular community, you couldn't but notice that at the moment, at least, it's being aimed at Jewish people. That's what we know to be the case. And every news organisation is reporting that. I'm not just making it up. And the stats even say it. I don't think that these competition about who's having more hate crimes aimed at them is healthy in any respect whatsoever. But it seems to me that what Keir Starmer's done is, as I've said, is very opportunistically gone in there and thought, as I say, it insults Muslims by saying, oh, if I tell them I care about it when somebody attacks them, then actually maybe they'll, stop criticising me. By the way, we all know that Islamophobia is also a phrase that's been used to silence criticism of radical Islamism over recent years. I mean, that's one of the things which I've been told when I've criticised some of the demonstrations in relation to the more pro-Hamas elements on the demos. And by the way, I defend their right to demonstrate. I even defend their right to shout jihadi slogans. But I want to be able to call it out for what it is, which is that this is absolutely and entirely anti-Jewish rhetoric. But when that's going on, I think that it's incumbent upon us to be able to say that Keir Starmer should be actually calling for defence of and absolutely defence of those people who have been really attacked, rather than pretending that there's an Islamophobic war over there. Those of us who've said anything about the demonstrations are accused of Islamophobia and hating Muslims, which is an effective way of closing down free speech.
Claire, thank you very, very much. And always a pleasure to have you. And in your rightful place, leading us into an hour as well. As Claire Fox said, Baroness Claire Fox, the baddest baroness in the business, founder of the Academy of Ideas, reacting to Sir Keir Starmer's latest video.